guys, this is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I'm partnering today with Red Recover. We're going to run you guys through some drills. I started using Red Recover last year, my 4th year in the NFL. It just helps me on Mondays after games, get my recovery process started, get back into the fold of the week, and get ready for the following Sunday. If you want to recover like me, use Red Recover.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
Oh, great. You got a doorbell camera. Now you got a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
No.
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Get out of my house!
Ooh, Mom's jewelry. There goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Sloan's, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, a free doorbell camera.
Free?
One that'll actually work for you. It's not total security unless it's the Sloan Shield. Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys?
Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business. Car key replacements and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for ejdconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, stance, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time for Dolphins football. Welcome to the EJDConstruction.com Miami Dolphins Pregame Show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. EJDConstruction.com is a fully insured liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. Here's your host, the Big O.
Ah, yes. Welcome aboard. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Now we're ready to go. There we are. Good morning. How you feeling? I hope you're feeling as good as I am. You know, it was kind of a short night, obviously, doing the Canes pre and post mortem of the season, pretty much. Last night, watching that thing, it was a disaster. The best part about it was being at walk-ons. Because whenever you're at walk-ons, you know, you're going to have a great time. The food is freaking amazing. So it was awesome. We had a great time. Thank you to all that showed up yesterday at walk-ons for our wrap-up of the Canes season. By the way, we will be back at walk-ons. Something tells me we might be doing one of these broadcasts or 2 or 3 at walk-ons in Kendall. That's coming up. So stay tuned. So we will maybe have a small home for the Dolphins for the rest of the season that we might be able to go to a couple games over at walk-ons, maybe even playoff games, except for the Super Bowl, of course. I'm busy. Sean is busy. Okay. We're headed off to Arizona because, you know, we've planned properly here for this Dolphin Super Bowl run. Okay. And today, the Dolphins will continue their Super Bowl run. Nice job, by the way, by Jeff Darlington. And nice little piece they did on Tua, which was actually really, really cool. It's nice to see, you know, all the stats and everything, how he's just kind of shattering everything, which is really, really cool overall. By the way, hold on a second. I will say I'm hurting throat-wise, all right? I have not been able to recover because we work 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday was the last day we're doing 7 days a week. So I got to say I am the throat is not in 100% right now. We're trying to get by right now. We're sore, man. I tell you, it's a lot of talking. It does a number on you. I don't want to get another polyp like I had, and then I'm got to get another operation, and I'm done for a week or two that I can't talk or anything. So got to try to pace myself. We will have some guests, by the way. Lee Sterling's going to join us at 11:30, so he'll give us his picks. We'll go around the league, and then, of course, you'll get an opportunity to connect with Lee at 12:15. Alan Poupart will be joining us, so we'll get a little pre-game coverage from him. Post-game, by the way, Joe Shad and Marcel Louis-Jacques are going to join us on post-game. So there we go. If you're at walk-ons, I'm there, good sir. Well, true Fin fan, it may be happening. We'll tell you ahead of time when it happens. But yeah, and we'll bring the prizes and the giveaways and all that good stuff for that also. So we'll have a good time out there, man. I'm looking forward to it. It'd be a lot of fun to go out there and do the Dolphins because It's really what's carrying us right now as South Florida sports fans. You know what I mean? The Heat doesn't look that good. I think the Panthers, I know they lost last night, but I think the Panthers will be fine. And I think they'll get to the playoffs again. I don't know if they're a Stanley Cup type of team yet. That I don't know. I have not seen that yet from them so far. And the Heat I think, eventually will make the playoffs, but it doesn't look like an impactful team. You know what I'm saying? So, but at least they'll make the playoffs, which is good. Um, but the Dolphins are really the team that's carrying us. This is the team that really has now an opportunity. And, it's been a long time since you can say the Dolphins may be the best team in town. And that's actually pretty cool. And what I love about all of this is, those of us that are older Dolphin fans, we're hoping that a lot of the experiences that we had, that a lot of young people can have those experiences. In the 70s and in the 80s up to the early 90s, Dolphin football was a blast, man. It was fun to watch. There was a lot of winning going on. You went to a few Super Bowls. You won a few early in your run. You still went to a couple more overall. It was always a team to be reckoned with. You know what I mean? A franchise to be reckoned with. And one of the reasons why it was a franchise to be reckoned with was because you had the important pieces filled. And now let's go back to these new Dolphins now to compare what's going on. Have you had a front office like this so far? No. Nobody's been like this in 30 years. Okay? This is way better than anything Jimmy did. Jimmy did an awesome job of building a defense. But Chris Greer is fighting players, defense and offense. He's doing a way better job than Jimmy. And way better than actually Shula did in his final 15, 20 years, probably. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Shula's strength was more 15, I would say. His strength in personnel was more into the 70s and very early 80s. After that, it pretty much, it kind of died out on the personnel side. So your personnel department has become one of the better ones in the NFL. And in today's game, the Laramie Tunsil thing is kind of it's a storyline that runs through all of this because they have benefited so much from that trade. And then we've got a head coach that actually understands what's going on in the NFL and how things have changed. And you saw last year when you had Flo, how lost you were offensively, how remedial you were on offense. And those are things that were unacceptable. You weren't changing with the times. One of the things why the Heat has been so good over the years, it's because Eric Spoelstra understands basketball. And it's not just basketball that you and I understand. You got to dribble and you got to defend and you got to shoot and the basics. No, it's how things have changed and how they're evolving and how players are evolving. And he had the vision of the positionless basketball. And everybody else has kind of followed suit now. And that's because Eric was changing with the times. He had the foresight of it. And this is what you see with Mike McDaniel. He has the foresight of doing offense different than everybody else to kind of throw things off, which is really difficult in a game that everything's been done. And yet you're trying to find new wrinkles to kind of change things up. And if you look at the formations and you look at the responsibilities, sometimes it changes. And it changes from a receiver making a key block that normally might have been a running back or a fullback or a tight end. But surprisingly, here comes a receiver coming from the other side of the field to make sure that running play works. And it's the oddest stuff that goes on that you just don't see because he is thinking completely outside of the box. And he thinks outside of the box in relationships. He thinks outside of the box when it comes to the way he handles things. Why? Because people have changed. The tough love that you and I grew up with, that doesn't exist anymore. It can't even exist. Right? And so this is the new wave of it. Then you've got a franchise quarterback. I'm sorry, when was that? When did it happen last? Oh, yeah, his name is Dan Marino. Because Tua Tagovailoa is light years ahead of anything that ever walked through the Dolphins' doorways since Marino. Chad Pennington in his dreams could never be Tua Tagovailoa. Ryan Tannehill in another lifetime's dreams could never be Tua Tagovailoa. Any quarterback, Fitz, you name it, nothing. None of the quarterbacks that have ever been here since Marino can even come close to the way Tua Tagovailoa runs an offense, sees the field, reacts, all of those things. You got yourself a franchise quarterback. So you tell me, if you're a young Dolphins fan, when was the last time you had a front office, a head coach, and a franchise quarterback? If you're in your 40s, when was it the last time? If you're in your 60s, when was the last time? You can answer those questions when you're older, and you're going to go way back. When you're young, as a Dolphins fan out there watching right now the show, you can't say you've never seen this. You've never witnessed this combination with the Miami Dolphins. And listen, I know to a certain extent there are people wondering, is Mike McDaniel Tony Sparano? Is Mike McDaniel Adam Gase? And what I mean by that is Tony Sparano went 11-5 his first year with a gimmick that helped him out in the Wildcat, but a gimmick that isn't long-lasting. You didn't have quarterbacks long-lasting overall. And your mentality was very, I know the man passed away. I'm sorry about it, but he had a mentality where he settled for field goals. And, that's what usually happens to you. When you settle for field goals, you lose the game. Just ask the Buffalo Bills opponent this past week on Thursday, settling for a field goal, and look what ends up happening to you. Because you got to play for 7 when you're playing against Josh Allen. You got to play for 7 if you're playing against Pat Mahomes. When you're playing against real quarterbacks, you better put up 7. So you look at all this stuff. You haven't had anything like this. You haven't had any combination that even resembles this. And that's why this franchise is now headed in the direction that it's never been headed in for decades. And Mike McDaniel, of course, will have to prove next year that he wasn't a fluke. But you're not depending on a gimmick like the Wildcat. You're not depending in the Adam Gase situation, even though he was Mr. 5,000 yards and all that other stuff with Peyton Manning. Well, you didn't really light it up in Chicago. And then here, you were Mr. Offense, but you really couldn't produce offense. Well, this guy's Mr. Offense, and he produces offense. This guy's Mr. Offensive Line. Oh, I'm sorry. The offensive line is the best it's been in years. You have the people now. It's not a fluke anymore. The guy came in, we all knew it was a broken offense. And what did I say at the beginning of the year? Mike McDaniel has to make the playoffs. It's not that I wanted to put pressure on the first-year coach and the first-time coach. I'm sorry, but you inherited a 9-10 win team that can get you there just by half-ass offense and a decent defense. Well, guess what? You kind of kept your decent defense together. Now your offense is superior. Go get me the 11th and 12th and 13th win. I already saw 9-10 with this bunch. I saw it with a deadbeat coach that doesn't know offense. This guy knows offense. Well, he's already 3 wins with 7 games left behind the best that Flo could do. And today should be the 8th win. I don't believe this is a fluke. I believe this is real, what's going on with the Miami Dolphins. And you should feel it's real. And you should feel confident, which is what I keep telling the Dolphin Nation, who has been burned so much over the last, 20 years. Look, I'm not telling you they're going to, for sure guaranteed win the title or anything like that. But what I am going to tell you is that this is a team that can get there, This is a team that has every potential to win any game that's left on the schedule. They're not going to win them all because nobody really does. You're going to end up losing a game or two. It just happens. But they have a chance at winning every game. I no longer fear at Buffalo. Not that I really feared that anymore, but, the Chargers they can beat. The Niners are going to be a tough team to beat, but you can beat them. So all these games that are left on the slate, Miami, they're all winnable games. They won't be easy, but they're all winnable games. This is a really, really fun time to be a Miami Dolphins fan. Let me get to some of the super chats here. True Fin Fan, I got you. Thank you, sir. Brian Walters, as always, just like True Fin Fan, and amazing loyalty. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We really appreciate it. Ragin says the defense needs to get back to being locked down if we're ever going to a Super Bowl title. Ragin, you're going to have to get Byron Jones, or you're going to have to ask Kader Kohu to raise. I mean, he's been fantastic as it is. I don't know how much more we can ask for a Division II player to play. But, and then mainly you're going to have X go back to being X. And I don't know if he can be X or not. And I'm not sure how you recover from either a growing injuries. I don't know if it's one or two that he still has. But I don't know how you do that during the season. I know the bye week must have helped him out at least. I hope that he's, a lot healthier coming out of this bye week situation. But without your secondary being what it needs to be, it's harder for you to run the defense you need up front and pressure as much as you'd like to pressure. And that's where it becomes a little bit more difficult. But having said that, this is the same defense that's gone 7-0 when Tua's playing. Okay? Including a win against Buffalo. And down 21 against the Ravens. So let's also remember that whatever you want to say about, and by the way, there were times where the defense, even in the 3-game losing streak, they gave their team chances. That Jets game was right there until the last quarter where they started to turn over the ball and gave up all the short fields. And that's the only reason why they ended up losing. But the defense gave them a chance even without Tua. But you just didn't have Tua, so you didn't have the guy that can finish off the job. So do remember that. While the defense isn't great, I'm with you. It's not what it was last year probably, or not the year before, but last year at least. And I get that. That's a fair criticism and a fair concern. But I will counter by saying this defense is good enough to be 7-0 when Tua's playing. And to me, that tells me you can go, again, this is a better team than the Bengals. And they got to the Super Bowl. So if they can get to the Super Bowl, the Dolphins can get to the Super Bowl. I mean, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Talking about that stuff at this point. But I'm just saying they're good enough now. And the defense has a chance to get better. Okay? And somehow if Byron Jones wants to come back and play a couple games for next year, that would be nice, Byron. But we know you love your Porsches. Diggum Snack says 14 may be a bit much with the perceived game plan for today. Think most expect McDaniel to continue where he left off last game with more running the ball, control offense work today. The Diggum Snacks, it's actually the smarter thing to do. Even though Tua is outstanding, number one in the NFL when throwing at 2.5 seconds or under, number one, QBR rating of 86.6, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Number one passer rating in the NFL at 118.4. Number one in passes per attempt, 9.1 yards for every pass completed, which is amazing. The stats for Tua are out of control. He's number one against zone coverage in the NFL with a QBR of 78.5. He's number one against man coverage in the NFL with a QBR of 91.1. You're number one against versus every other quarterback in the NFL against man coverage or zone. When you get rid of the ball under 2.5 seconds, remember 2.8 seconds is the limit. That's what they practice with around the NFL. That's the clock. They need to get rid of the ball under 2.8 seconds. He's doing at 2.5. Number one in the NFL, 8 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I mean, he's an effing surgeon out there. But you, sir, are 1,000% right, Diggum Smacks. Or Snacks, is it? Diggum Smacks. Oh, Diggum Smacks. You are 1,000% right. In a game like today, you could probably sizzle these people and throw for 450 yards. But why put the ball in the air so much and put it at risk? And then 2, Diggum Smacks, to back you up on this, you're headed into the winter now, okay? You're headed into these ugly games that you might have to deal with, certain situations. You need to be prepared to run the ball. And 2 weeks ago, you ran the ball well against a terrible team. Today's an even worse team, the worst team against a run. So these are the kind of games you want to start to kind of get this run game going and get it prepared for those other teams. And the offensive line is playing at its best right now. So I agree with you. This is a game that dictates that you run the ball and you run the ball like crazy. So we will see if that's exactly what they end up doing. By the way, we do want to remind you, ejdconstruction.com. Eric and all the great people out there have been just amazing supporters of ours for many years now. And, of course, we tell you all the time that if you live here in Dade or Broward County, okay, it doesn't really do Palm Beach County. And I know some of our listeners from Palm Beach County have called. And unfortunately, he wasn't able to take care of the folks in Palm Beach County. But he does do Dade and Broward County, 305-433-4843. And they do it all. It doesn't matter what you need to do, an extension to your home, a second floor. A lot of people are calling EJD Construction. He's a full contractor. He can build a house. If you had a fire, remediate everything and redo everything. They do all kinds of things. But the other thing that they're doing a lot of is that they are upgrading people's roofs now. Because as you know, living here in Florida, insurance companies are demanding that you upgrade your roof for hurricane coverage. And once your house, I believe it's 22 years or something like that, it gets outdated. And there's a lot of homes that are outdated in South Florida, and they have to upgrade their roofs. Well, guess what? EJD Construction, of course, is doing that for a lot of our customers, a lot of our listeners. Why? Because they're not able to renew their insurance policy. So call Eric at EJD Construction if you need to upgrade your roof or anything else you need to do. Not a handyman. We're talking about custom home construction, major home remodeling. That's what EJD Construction does. Fully insured, by the way, liability and workers' comp. Please never hire anyone that is not fully insured to walk into your home to work, because if someone gets injured, they can sue you. EJD Construction is fully insured. That way you're protected. Kind of like Cutter's Edge Pro. Same thing. They're fully insured to make sure they protect the customer. Call my guy Eric at 305-433-4843. Upgrade that roof so you can get your policy for the upcoming hurricane season next year. EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. All right. Dolphins, by the way, favored by 14 today. We're going to talk to Lee Sterling at the bottom of the hour. The over and under is 47. Miami on the money line is minus 900. Holy crap. I wouldn't touch this game with a 400-foot pole. I'm not giving up 14 points in no way, no how. I cannot do it. No. It's just craziness to do that right now. And the over and under 47, I don't even want to. This is one of those games I just want to sit back and enjoy. And I want to watch the Dolphins win. I want them to get back over first place in the division and get to 8-3 and just start getting closer and closer to those double-digit victories. To me, that's the most important part of today. 14 points, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have Lee Sterling on in a few minutes. He'll give you another pick or two instead of this one. What was it? Was it 11 and a half? Went to 14 on it was 12 and a half on Tuesday. Okay, it opened at 12 on Monday. All right, I have the notes here. So it was 12 points on Monday. I might have laid the 12 points on Monday, but now when we're getting to 14, damn, dude, it's just it's too much. It's too much. Just sit back and enjoy. That's what I would tell you. Sit back and enjoy this one. Willie, thank you, sir. Everybody always has nice things to say about the cap, and the cap is absolutely fantastic. Byron Jones is in witness protection. Good luck finding him. Either that or he's in the Bahamas hanging out with Sam Bankman-Fried or something. Ken Helm says, I hope a Darth Cater pick 6. Oh, you hope for one? Yep, I'm with you. By the way, I am getting a Darth Cater poster. I'll show it to you guys soon. So I'm looking forward to my Darth Cater poster that I'm getting, and we're gonna frame it and put it up here in the studio. We gotta put up a Darth Cater poster, which is cool. Hoping we don't do the whole new QB, let's stick to the box thing, and Texans are scripted to pass first series. We've all seen this before. We'll see. I heard the Dolphins have the least yak in the league. If this is true, I find that to be my favorite stat, second to Tua only having 3 interceptions. We got our franchise QB. Actually, no, that's not true. The Dolphins are 15th in the NFL in yak. Do you know who's number 1? Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes' receivers are number 1 in yak after catch. Yep. Yards after catch. Pat Mahomes is number 1. And, they say, oh, well, Tua's getting all his yards because these guys are getting yaks. No, he's 15th in the league, you idiot. He throws deeper than everybody else. That's why he's got a 9.1 yard. Actually, the stat that you should be excited for is that he's number 1 in the NFL at 9.1 yards per completion. That's the stat you got to be, because nobody's better. That means he's throwing deeper than everybody else. The guy that can't throw deep? He's 15th in yak. So they're in the middle of the pack in the NFL, which is not like anything great. But the Bengals are number 2 and the Chiefs are number 1. But nobody says that Mahomes and Burrow are being helped by yak. Only Tua, because he's short, he's got a noodle arm, and, he can't throw deep, and, all these things out there. So Tua needs the help. Tua needs the help there, narrative idiots. That's how you got to spin it, true Fin fan. You got to tell them, hey, Tua's 15th in yak. So it's not like their receivers are making him look that great. He's making the receivers also look just as good. Actually, Mahomes and Joe Burrow are being helped by more yak than anyone else in the NFL. And then that's when they'll go and they'll shut up. So Tua has better stats than both of those guys. Not more yards than Mahomes, but he has better stats than Mahomes, right? Statistically, he's number 1 in everything practically. And yet his receivers don't give him the yak that Joe Burrow and, of course, Mahomes gets. It's interesting. But again, it's part of crushing the narratives. It's part of all the people that got it wrong. That's all it is. People that got it wrong. They looked at Tua and remember, as I've said on the show many times over, the world is lazy. So one guy will repeat what one other guy said, and you don't really go back and go look to find out if it's actually true. As we like to call it here on the show, Facebook facts. There's a lot of you out there that live off of Facebook facts. You don't actually live off of the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. And that's where Tua has absolutely crushed all of this. That people, they look at it and they don't realize how good this guy is as a quarterback. Look, as I've said over the years, injuries were the only thing that would scare the crap out of me from Tua. Hell, I was still scared of injuries with Tua. Even this year, I was telling you, I'm afraid this guy ain't even going to get to year 7 anymore. If he's going to play this wild-ass football where he's just going to throw his body all over the place, Tua's done. Can't be counted on. It's over. He can't play like that. And then I don't know, the light went on finally. Damn it. I would love to find out what I don't think he'll tell us till years from now. If it was his wife, remember we've talked about that. That finally, Saban would tell him, his dad. We played that video for you of him as a high schooler and how his dad chews his ass out for selling out his body. And that's the only thing I ever worried about with Tua that would make me afraid of Tua is the injuries. That's it. But as a player, I am so happy to see him do what he's doing right now. I knew he could do this. It's just a matter of use your head, kid. Use your head. Don't take those hits. And, the other thing, I looked at him as injury prone too, like a lot of you. And I don't believe Tua's injury prone. As I told you, as the years have evolved, when I looked at him coming out of Alabama, injury prone. When I looked at him, early on, injury prone. But remember, we figured it out this year. We figured out that the only reason he gets his major injuries is because he holds the ball for 4 or 5 seconds. And you can't do that. When you're as good as he is, under 3 seconds, the hell do you need to do it? Hold it for 4 or 5. So in your clock, okay, I can't find a play in 3 seconds. Let's get rid of it. Let's get rid of it. And he's doing it. I love it. I love it because that's the only way he's going to have a long career. As I told you, he won't make it to year 7. You know what I mean? And it is beautiful to watch him stay on the field and crush all these fools that didn't think that he could play. The absolutes, as I call them. I don't mind the Cameron Wolfs of the world and Marcel. They had the right point of view. They were like, yeah, we like him, but we got to see it. That's fair, man. That's more than, you know what I'm saying? But the absolute people, that's the one that drove me crazy. No, there's no way he can do that. By the way, the inactives today are Teddy Bridgewater, Eric Azukama, Noah Igbenogany, Raheem Mostert as expected, and Hunter Long. And, the coach said that it was going to be an uphill battle for Raheem Mostert. So now we will see if Salvon Ahmed or Myles Gaskin. Now, he was very, very colorful about Myles Gaskin this week in the press conferences. He kind of went out of his way to talk about how Myles Gaskin is a pro's pro and all that kind of stuff. And Poupart, remember a couple weeks back when there was a little bit of an injury or whatever, he nailed it when he said it was Ahmed going to be the guy. And it was. Ahmed was ahead of Myles Gaskin. We're going to find out today if that's the same thing or, like Coach also said, both could play. And maybe what they'll do with both is who's ever got the better groove, that will be the guy that will back up Jeff Wilson today as the game goes on. You know what I mean? Because I don't think you want to use the 3 backs unless it's a blowout. And then you can rest Jeff Wilson because you have Mostert injured and you can just use the 2 guys, the 2 young guys, and have them just kind of, finish off the game. That would be a perfect scenario. All right, let's do it, baby. Let's get Lee Sterling's advice here. ParamountSports.com is the website, at Paramount Sports on Twitter. He is Lee Sterling. Lee, good morning, my friend. How are you doing?
Great morning. One of the greatest. We went 5-0 yesterday. One of the greatest Saturdays ever, including with a big play on Kansas State. So some tough games today. The lines, they came out, and where they came out, I loved them, and I bet a bunch of games early, but now the lines are no good. And there's just a lot of times, if you don't like the line and you don't hit on it early, this is just one of those days where You know, like the Dolphins. If you like the Dolphins
So
early,
you got it at 12. You got it
Yeah.
at 12 out of 14.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And like, for instance, I got the Jets at 4.5 when it came out. So, you know, now you don't have to face Josh Fields. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to take advantage of these. There's some really bad quarterbacks playing in the NFL this week. So one of those games is the Chicago Bears. Trevor Siemian is not an NFL quarterback. I mean, he's a subpar backup. So do I think Mike White is great? No, but I think Mike White usually the first game plays well. So you gotta. This is like an evolution. It's like a game. Like I watch some of these announcers; they're yelling and screaming and stuff in the first quarter. Relax, let it play out. So what I see with the Jets here, I watched.
By the way, that sounds like my Twitter feed. In the first 5 minutes of a Dolphins game, when the other team scores, that's it. The game's over. It's terrible. I'm like, dude, the game's 4 quarters. Relax. Like, chill out.
I have a friend like that. As soon as the other team scores, it's like, the Dolphins suck. Here we go again. I'm like, relax. So let's look at the Jets. Before we hit on the Dolphins game, let's start with some of these other games. The Jets are going to, in my opinion, try to push the ball down the field. These receivers were open. If you look at the video from last week's game, Zach Wilson was he was in his own little world. You know, maybe thinking about some of the women he was going to date or, you got to be serious. The NFL and quarterbacks, you got to really study tape. And he's got some good receivers, just couldn't get the ball to receivers. And Mike White, I followed him. You probably followed him from when he played down here at U School. Kid's good. I mean, went to Western Kentucky.
Right.
Is he going to be someone you want quarterbacking for a month or two? No, but 1 or 2 starts, I'm happy with him. Trevor Siemian can't do the job. Remember, Chicago got rid of their best 2 defensive players. I like the Jets here. If it's 7, buy it down to 6.5. It's 6.5 some places. I think they win at least by a touchdown, probably 10, 14, maybe 17 points. So,
and by the way, dare I say this? If he struggles, it's not like Zach is the backup.
Right.
Zach's the third guy. It's actually Flacco, who, by the way, go look at the stats. Flacco hasn't played bad for the Jets this year when he has played. So they do have a capable backup that's very experienced. Yeah. And when you talk about deep balls, well, he's always been one of the better deep ball throwers with and he's got a lot of speed on the outside with the Jets. So I definitely understand the method behind your madness, because White is also way more mature than Zach Wilson.
Right.
And that's the other thing, that he's going to take this like he's supposed to, like a pro. You know what I mean? It's like what we watch from Tua every week. The dude's just a pro, and that is so important. And Zach still has a lot of Johnny Manziel in him, basically.
Right.
That's what he
So then another game. And this is probably the best game of the day, Cincinnati and Tennessee. 2 teams that were Tennessee out of the gate. The first couple games were horrible. And now all of a sudden they're playing well. And I'm not a Ryan Tannehill fan, but his game last week against Green Bay,
he
didn't play well. He played great. When you have to throw a ball and you're having snow flurries, it's in the high 20s, and you're playing and the winds are swirling. His throws were almost every throw right on the money. So he didn't throw the ball down the field much, but they were pinpoint accuracy. How about this also, Mike Vrabel? I think he's 8-0 or 9-0 coming off of a bye, winning by an average score 31-12. So it shows you, there's certain tendencies, that teams have, and the way he prepares his team, he must give them a lot of rest. And they're fired up and they love playing for him. They're playing well. Cincinnati's playing well also. Yes. I still think they're a little fake. I don't think their offensive line is very good. And just think they had a couple matchups where Joe Mixon looked great. Before that, Joe Mixon looked slow. So for him to continue looking great, I'll take it. I actually have them in a teaser that's still open. They're a good teaser candidate here. You can get them at 1.5. You can move them up to 7.5 on a teaser, 2-team 6-point teaser. So if you see another game, that's not only a good bet, a good teaser bet. Then probably the last play that I like a lot is Seattle. I think that the Raiders, they got a little lucky last week. Kenneth Walker is the real deal. I was an advocate. Now, I do like the Miami running back duo right now, but before that materialized, I loved Kenneth Walker, and I thought Miami made a mistake not drafting him, but he's a stud. And Geno Smith, the green light's on. I never thought I'd say this. Did you think he was going to be a player like this?
Never.
Never. Right.
Not even coming out of Florida State did I ever even like Geno Smith.
No, Geno was at West Virginia. I never liked him coming out of West Virginia. I thought he was just a product of that system that they had there at West Virginia, which was a hell of a system, by the way. It helped a lot of people put up points and yards. I commend Geno in just a big time way, and the coaching staff also, because who's the quarterback's coach there? I forgot who the hell the guy is. Marvelous job by him, because Geno is one of the 5 best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think he was drafted in any fantasy league. I don't think anyone even.
No. Why would you? Well, when you saw Seattle, didn't you think they were trying to tank? And when you
absolutely.
When you start Geno Smith, I'm like, oh, okay, you're definitely tanking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And boy, was I wrong. Holy shit.
The thing about betting is, don't go against hot quarterbacks. You go against hot quarterbacks, you're going to get burned. I mean, I hear people all the time up until this year say, oh, this is a good spot to go against Tom Brady. It's a good spot to go against Aaron Rodgers. Until this year, you went against those guys, you're living under a bridge. Now, this year is a little bit different. Until Tom Brady, that's my last play here, until Tom Brady got his divorce was final. Now, all of a sudden, maybe, that burden is lifted off him, and you don't have to deal with talking to attorneys every day. It's finally signed. But Cleveland, another quarterback, Jacoby Brissett, bum. I mean, once every 4 or 5 games, he'll play well. But, you go against Cleveland. It's a franchise. They're not coached well. They don't prepare well. When the game is on the line, they almost never come up with big plays. It's like it's bred in them. You go to Cleveland, you can be a winner from somewhere else. You're not going to win there. So I like Tampa Bay -3 at Cleveland.
I'm with you. By the way, on the Cincinnati thing, I've said it since last year. I think this is Ken Anderson and Boomer Esiason all over again.
Yeah.
They made their appearance in the Super Bowl, and they're not going back. You know what I mean? I just, they'll be entertaining and all that, and they'll score their points. But
no Jamar Chase today. He was ruled out. So it looked like he was going to play. I mean, crazy that he was able to maybe come back so soon. But I think it's a smart move on their part. He gets hurt this week. You're not going anywhere. So they can still make the playoffs even if they lose this game.
Yeah, no, and by the way, it's not like they lack receivers.
No.
They have 2 other Higgins is going to get paid $12-15 million by somebody next year. He's going to be one of the hottest free agents in the NFL next year. Somebody's going to sign T. Higgins to be their number 1, by the way. So that's what's going to end up happening. So it's not like they lack talent out there with Mixon and those 2 receivers, even without Jamar Chase. And if you have a good quarterback, which they do, and they have a good tight end also, 2 tight ends actually that are serviceable. They have more than enough weapons with that quarterback in order to get the job done, even without Jamar Chase.
Right.
So, I mean, it's all right. So the Dolphin game, is there anything, the over and under? I mean, the 14 might be a little much. I personally would stay away from it. Your suggestion on that?
I would probably play the under. So it's an NFL game. You usually have about 8, 9, 10 possessions. The Dolphins to cover 14, that's 3 possessions. That's tough. I could see him winning this game here, something like 30-13. I could see him winning 28 to 14, 28-17. You win 28-17, you're still under 47. So, maybe it's one of these games you sit back and you don't play the game, or you play what I call my $25 bowl of popcorn game. So,
by the way, this might be a live game that you may want to play.
Right.
That may be the better odds. I got to tell you, when we had the app from the Hard Rock,
Yeah.
My brother, that the live betting was the best. I
Yeah.
loved the live betting for it. Oh God, that
Live
was so
betting is so great for sporting events. Going to an event, like I was at the Panthers hockey game last night, and to be able to live bet hockey, to be able to live bet football, I mean, betting player props. Can you imagine how many more people are going to want to go to games? Like I was up in New York where it's legal. I was there last March with my daughter at a Heat Knicks game. I'm looking during the timeout in my section. All the young kids, I see them not just looking at their phone, they're betting games. They're betting live action. They're betting player props. They're betting parlays. I mean, it's incredible. So it's probably a very slight lean to Miami, but probably maybe a little bit stronger to the under 47 total points.
You got anything for Monday night?
Yeah, I actually like Indianapolis there. So just think that I think Pittsburgh's a little limited right now. Johnson, I mean, is he going to be good? Yeah, but I mean, I think he's got 3 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. He's studying film, but the green light hasn't come on. I think Pickett's going to be good. Is he going to be great? No. Just takes time. His offensive line is brutal. I mean, you watch the tape. You know, remember last year watching the Dolphins offensive line. There's some lookout blocks. There are guys who don't even touch guys. You run some stunts on their offensive line, and he's mobile. That's why he's sometimes able to get away from them or, you know, get rid of the ball. But it's going to be tough for Pittsburgh. So I leaned to Indianapolis. Also, Jonathan Taylor starting to run well. That offensive line, which played poorly first 7-8 games, starting to play a little bit better.
They're playing better since Saturday took over, actually. They're just playing better football over the last couple of weeks, and you got to give Jeff Saturday credit. Whatever he's done, he's kind of settled that team down, and they're just in a slightly better groove right now.
Here's what I think's going on. I don't know what it is. I mean, I do think that Reich, their former coach, is a player's coach. But something about Matt Ryan the second time around, him and Saturday and the offensive coordinator, it seems like there's a little greater understanding. I don't know whether he's checking more at the line, doing some more audibles, but, you know, maybe sitting back for a couple of weeks. There's so much pressure on them. Maybe they're just having fun. You know, there's a lot of pressure on that team to perform right out of the gate. You know, when you pay a quarterback $25-30 million and they kept doing it over and over, and then also they had some injuries at the receiver position. Everything sometimes, you know, when the pressure's off, these teams, there's always 2-3 teams every year, Big O, that they start off like 2-5, and then you're like, oh my God, they're 7-6 now. So they might be one of those teams.
Yeah, and by the way, I've been so impressed with the improvement of the Dolphin offensive line.
Oh my God.
Since Robert Jones took over, it just seems like it's an upgrade over Eichenberg.
Yeah, huge upgrade. And, you know, I think the head coach, too, and the offensive line coach is just you know what? They're having fun. You know, it's maybe it was the way Flores and some of these other guys. I mean, I don't know if you saw, it was out there. I think it was on Twitter or on YouTube. There is a 17-minute clip, I think it is. They videoed Flores before the game and end game talking to Tua. And the way that he talked wasn't horrible, but now you see McDaniel and also Tua on the sideline. You know, they're slapping high fives. They're like, oh, this might work. What do you think of that? They go, oh, let's give it a try. You know, it's just they're relaxed. They're having fun. That's what football's all about.
Well, that coach understands what the quarterback has to do, whereas the other guy did not really understand because he's a defensive-minded coach, and that's why he struggled so much on the offensive side of the ball. And thank the Lord, man, because, man, if they would have made the wrong decision, stuck with Flo, they could have ruined, you know, the chances of having a franchise quarterback, and that would have been devastating to this franchise because, man, they've struggled.
You know, I don't know how you hire a defensive head coach right now in the NFL.
Coach, that's a great point.
Yeah, and then get a good defensive coordinator and let him do his thing. Yeah,
you're right. The game is so offensive, you better have an offensive-minded coach at the top. I'm with you there. All right, tell them about Paramount Sports, my friend.
you want to get involved, 5 selections, $55. We've only had one losing week. It's an instant download. So hopefully just keep this run going. ParamountSports.com, 5 for 55 in the NFL.
There you go, ParamountSports.com. Lee, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you.
Okay, take care, Big O.
You got it. Lee Sterling, baby, always getting it done. And that's what I thought, too, that the bargain was to take it at 12. Going up to 14, man, that's a lot. I'm with Lee on that one. That one you got to – the under's interesting because a lot of us figure that they're going to work on the run, so that'll keep the score down. Miami Corey, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Remember, he says, just here to say Phinz up. I appreciate you, man. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo, and that is Cash Big O Show. You can even donate Bitcoin through Cash App, and you know I always love that. Those are my favorite donations when I can get a little Bitcoin. So Cash App or Venmo, that is Cash Big O Show. Cash Big O Show. You want to make a donation. By the way, the raps this week were absolutely outstanding. All right. For Solo D, this Solo D, by the way, if you're out there, and I don't know if this gets to you because I know you're probably at the game tailgating and having some fun and getting ready to go in there and watch the boys kick ass. But I want you to know, Solo D, that this week's rap was one of my favorites of this season. Okay. That was an excellent rap. Roger, again, did an awesome job. We'll play them now at the top of the hour. We'll play one before the top of the hour, and then we'll play the other one on the other side, coming back from the top of the hour to get you ready and get you in another Dolphins feel. As I was preparing for this show, okay. One of the things that I like to do my homework and try to find things and help you out and make you think a little bit about what's going on. And so this Texans team is a bad team. They're 1-8-1. We all know that. They've lost 5 in a row. They've been outscored in their last 5 games where they've lost 131-73. Okay? That's what, 58 points, I believe. That's a lot to be outscored. Now, I'm gonna say something, and I want you to think about this. This is their offense the last 5 weeks: 20, 10, 17, 16, and 10. So let me ask you something, Dolphin Nation. What does that remind you of? The Dolphins of the last 20 years. This is what happens when you don't have a franchise quarterback. This is what happens when you don't have the guy that can move the offense and score points and put the fear of God in other people, like Mahomes does, like Aaron Rodgers does, like Tom Brady does, like Joe Burrow does, like the top quarterbacks in this league. Oh, wait a minute. That's right. And Tua. But if you want Chad Pennington and you want, whatever, Ray Lucas, Jay Fiedler, Pat White, I don't even know if Pat White can score 10 points. John Beck, Ryan Fitzpatrick, whatever, all these kind of things. If that's what you want, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get offenses that just don't score enough points. That's what you're facing today. You're not facing an elite quarterback. And hell, they went now to Kyle Allen. Kyle Allen in 21 games has 4,300 yards. In 21 games. In 21 games, he has 24 touchdowns. This guy can throw just over a touchdown a game. In 21 games, he has 17 interceptions. So he throws an interception practically in every game. This is what happens. When I was looking at their offense, I'm going, oh my God, this is what I've lived through for 20 years. This is what you've lived through for 20 years. offenses that couldn't score, and you're praying that your defense can stop them. Well, their defense can't. Today, it's all about Dameon Pierce, the Florida Gator, 4th-round pick of the Houston Texans. He has, so far, 175 rushes, 780 yards, only 3 touchdowns because they don't score, but he does average 4.5 yards a carry. Not much of a receiver, has 24 receptions, 130 yards, and 1 touchdown in that sense. So they don't use him a ton as a receiver, but he has been an absolute find for them at running back. He's been terrific for them. He's the one thing that you're going to have to control. But you're not facing a potent offense. This is the kind of game that you can take a lead and then you can punish them the rest of the way. And I think that that's what's going to end up happening, to be quite honest. I think that that's what you're going to see. You're going to see them punish them early on, take a lead, and then kind of, as Lupe Fiasco would say, they're going to kick, push, and coast. That's what I think. Now, it's hard to read Mike McDaniel because he sometimes doesn't do exactly what you think, because he's always thinking outside the box. And you and I, by thinking, oh, there's a game where they're going to work on their running game and they're going to pound the hell out of it, you and I aren't thinking outside the box. So just be prepared to be wrong, because Mike McDaniel will then do it another way. And it's not that you're wrong. It's just he found it another way to do it. You know what I mean? But common sense tells you and me, pound the shit out of these guys. They're the worst in the NFL against the run. You chew up the clock, take care of Tua. Don't make, more running, more punishment, less people getting back there to take a cheap hit on Tua or anything like that. That's what would tell you that that's what you should do in this game. And it will be the Jeff Wilson show. Okay, I get that. But I'm also going to tell you, I'm kind of intrigued, excited for Ahmed or Myles Gaskin, specifically Myles Gaskin. And I know Ahmed comes from that system, so he knows it a little better and all that good stuff. But Myles is a smart kid. He's been around for a while. I got to tell you something. Over the last couple of years, one of the Dolphins that I admire the most, I'm not telling you he's the best. I'm not telling you he's the most talented or anything, but I love Myles Gaskin. I'm a big fan of Myles Gaskin. That kid says nothing. He does his job. You drafted him in the 7th round, I think it is. He's been pretty reliable overall throughout his career with the Dolphins. He's a pro's pro, never points fingers, never complains. There is no diva crap from him. And, he's survived already now 2 coaching staffs. So it tells me that he sends the right signal to the coaches that he's been, associated with. And Flo, whatever his military style or whatever it is, he dealt with it. And then Mike McDaniel has a completely different style, and he's adapted to that. And to hear Mike McDaniel this week, gush over how much Myles Gaskin is appreciated, I think that goes a long way. And that's why I'm saying that it may not just be Ahmed. You might see some Gaskin here, and I hope you do. It sucks that Mostert is out, but I'd rather take the precautionary approach. Plus, Jeff Wilson is comfortable. And you know what? Myles Gaskin deserves a little love. And I hope today he has a really nice performance, because he's the kind of young man that we all should admire, and you should all use as an example of how to be a professional. Okay, in a world where we see the Zach Wilsons of the world and the Johnny Manziels, and I don't know, I'm trying to think of some of these more immature guys. I guess Odell Beckham. You can. I'm not using Deshaun Watson is not misbehaved. Deshaun Watson is a criminal, allegedly. But guys like that, we see a lot of the immaturity in guys. And Myles Gaskin is just a leader of all leaders, man. Roger Morant, he does it every week, baby. He gives us a wrap to get us ready for a Dolphins game. We love Roger. I believe it's Phinz Fans for Life, I believe is his Twitter handle. You should follow Roger. He is ready for another beautiful Miami Dolphins wrap. Go ahead, Sean.
What's up, Phinz fans? Miami's back home this week, ready to host the Texans at the Rock. The Dolphins play the Houston Texans Week 12. And you're talking of the playoffs? Let's show we need to focus on the game at hand. You know, when you came and show some pride into the playoffs, we will strive. It doesn't matter if we're facing Mills or Allen. The Dolphins D is stacked with crazy, stupid talent. Once again, we set our focus on the run. Tip to fantasy owners, Pierce is not the one. They either work and have the calluses. F. Chris Sims and Al's putting on a better show than the Aurora Borealis. Dimes. Tua delivers in stride. So many stops on offense, other teams are running high. Try to gain some yards and matriculate the ball. Attempt to run against our defense. It's like Simon and a wall. Coach McDaniel, he's so drippy. He will lead us to the crown. Bring us back to glory. Miami Dolphins, Title Town. Title Town. Waddle, waddle.
Waddle, waddle.
Title Town. The Dolphins don't move the chains. They score. With Tua, Waddle, Wilson, Hill, and more. We're headed to the Super Bowl. You know, a West Coast trip is up and coming. Then we give the Bills a drubbing. This team is different and they're starting to believe. Coach McDee's a wizard. Something's up his sleeve. Other teams are playing checkers. We play chess. Let's give thanks, Miami. We are truly blessed. We are blessed. We have a young head coach in McDaniel, explosive offense, kick-ass D, but most importantly, Tua Waddle Hill.
Waddle Hill.
What a thrill.
What a thrill.
Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill.
What a thrill.
Cheetah.
Love it. Love it. Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. I want to hear that when you're leaving the stadium. Okay? This needs to become a thing. One of my favorite bands of all time, my favorite band, basically, U2, okay? They used to end the concerts with a song called 40. How long to sing this song? How long? Right? For those of you that know U2. And they would end that song, and then we would walk out of the arena or stadium, wherever we were, okay, for that concert. I think they stopped doing it. I mean, they do it occasionally still, but it's been kind of gone from the rotation for several tours now. But everybody used to walk out of the stadium singing 40. Right? And it was the coolest thing. You know, because going to a U2 concert it's cathartic. It's one of those things when you walk out, you just feel different. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, you know, if you don't like U2, that's fine. But if you've been to U2 concerts, you know, a crap ton like I have, there is something about it because I love the music. And I think we need to start walking out of Dolphin Stadium with Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. That would be the coolest thing. All right? I mean, that's a great little hook that Roger came up with. I think it's something that we need to kind of expand on. And it would be the coolest thing that people are walking out of the stadium going, Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. And by the way, if it happens, I need you guys to film it and tag us at Big O Show so we can play that stuff and spread it. We need to spread it. That needs to be the theme all over the place. Tua Waddle Hill. What a thrill. And we should have Roger and Solo D performing at the stadium every week, too. Come on, Tom Garfinkel. Let's go, baby. Greg, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Thank you, as always. Your loyalty is amazing. I appreciate your super chat. All right, 1 hour down. Hour number 2 is next. Solo D coming up. And we're going to talk to Joe Shad at, Alan Poupart at 12:15. So we'll get Alan's thoughts on this game coming up today, right here on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show.
Hey guys, this is Hayden Hurst, NFL tight end. I'm partnering today with Red Recover. We're going to run you guys through some drills. I started using Red Recover last year, my 4th year in the NFL. It just helps me on Mondays after games get my recovery process started, get back into the fold of the week, and get ready for the following Sunday. If you want to recover like me, use Red Recover.
If you're a Miami sports fan, then there's only one store to go to, and that's Caneswear at Miami Fanwear in Davie. They're your one-stop shop for all your inner Miami CF, Canes, Dolphins, Panthers, and Marlins merchandise. They have hats, t-shirts, game day jerseys, and so much more. Located at 2511 South University Drive in Davie, and open 24/7 online at caneswear.com or innermiamiwear.com. Call them at 954-835-5597. Caneswear, the spot where inner Miami and all Miami sports fans shop.
Why is it that you get locked out in the worst moments of your life?
Where are my car keys? Man, I can't find my house keys.
In those frustrating moments, you need a locksmith you can count on. A. Lenny Locksmiths in South Florida, from Miami to Port St. Lucie. In Central Florida, A. Lenny locks it down in Orlando and Tampa Bay. Lockouts or lock changes for home or business, car key replacements, and programming all model cars. 24-hour service. Call them at 855-869-5625. Go to the website at alennylocksmith.com.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
The viewpoints, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time for Dolphins football. Welcome to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins Pregame Show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Shobe. EJDconstruction.com is a fully insured liability and workers' comp. Call Eric if you need a custom home builder or general contractor. 305-433-4843. Here's your host, the Big O.
Oh, yeah, the Big O, who's very happy with the moves by Chainlink, ApeCoin, Cadena. So we follow the crypto market 7 days a week. Anyway, hope you all are doing well out there as we get ready for a little Dolphins and a little Texans. Always appreciate it. Thank you for reaching out. Don't forget to support our amazing sponsors. Hit the like button, okay? And very important to hit that like button, folks, all right? So really, really helps out to hit that like button. By the way, next month, we will be giving away 2 listeners will be winning. All you got to do is go to Instagram and follow our friends NatureBNZ on Instagram. Tag a friend and use our hashtag Big O Radio Show. You and your friend are going to be entered to win a $100 prize pack from NatureB. We tell you about NatureB all the time. NatureB is for me, baby. I take those 2 golden capsules every single day. I swear by them. It boosts my immune system. It does so much. Plus, they're going to send you other things in that prize pack. And so, and check it out. You and your friend will be entered into that drawing. They'll pick 2 winners in early December. By the way, we still have a great deal going on right now. You can buy 2 months for $66. You're going to get the 3rd month for free and free shipping. You got to use our code Big O. Go to naturebee.com. You want to boost your immune system? You want to get energy? You want your nails, your hair to grow fuller, your nails to grow stronger, helps with indigestion, helps the creaky bones. Yeah, I mean, plant pollen, the benefits of it are endless, and it's all natural, so it's great for you and great for the kids. So you want some of that natural energy, and boost immune system in this virus-filled world, by the way. Those 2 golden capsules will help you out. How about this? My wife's got that nasty-ass cold that messed up her cough. I haven't caught it. Nature Bee. That's what I attribute it to. Usually when I get my colds, you guys know me well. Those of you who listen every day, it's because I sleep with fans in my face, and if I leave my mouth open, boom, that's the only time I really get a cold. It's crazy. It really is. 2 months for $66, the 3rd month for free and free shipping. So make sure, go to naturebee.com, use our code Big O, and you will get the free shipping and the free month. But go to Instagram and enter on the giveaway, NatureBeeNZ, tag your friend and use our hashtag Big O Radio Show, and you're entered. And they will reach out to you if you win. Burgess says, should Laramie Tunsil be in the Dolphins Ring of Honor at halftime? I think today in the afternoon at 4:20, you should all celebrate Laramie Tunsil. I think that's how South Florida fans, now that you have medicinal marijuana now in South Florida, those of you that have your card, okay, I suggest that at 4:20, any day or every day, when you do it, I think you just do it in honor of Laramie Tunsil. I think that's a better honor than any stinking statue or Ring of Honor or anything like that, because now you can remember and honor Laramie Tunsil wherever you're at. You're at home, you're at a bar, you're at the stadium. 4:20, spark it up. So that, to me, that's how Dolphin fans all over the world, a Dolphin fan in Malaysia, in Mexico, in Canada, in Portugal, in London, at 4:20, they can all celebrate Laramie. This is for Laramie Tunsil. Puff, puff, don't pass. We're not past the COVID stuff. Did you see what's going on in China? Holy crap. You can tell that they're the damn problem. Holy moly. Please, don't accept anybody from China. If you come from China, you can't come into this country. Those people are as irresponsible as, and they have the serious lockdowns. Like, they lock people down. Like, they've forced them and hide them into their homes for months, and they still have all those cases. Sorry to get like that, but I see that, and all it does is piss me off, because that damn country set us all back. Ruin people's careers and businesses. Look at these clowns. They're still having this problem. It's amazing, dude. Really is. Anyway, I hope we just bring the heat on the defense today. There you go. Get out your gas masks. Damn right. What else do we have here? Don't forget, by the way, to hit the like button. Smash it. Last time I checked, we're over 500 here. Let me see where we at in the like buttons. Come on. We got 137. Do it for Tua. Do it for Jeff Wilson Jr. Do it for Mike McDaniel. Do it for us. Do it for Sean Stanley. Hit that like button. You know what I also like? I like seeing Solo D do his thing before every game. He is the king, all right? Nobody better than Solo D, okay? We love Roger. Roger's amazing. But we know Solo D is the guy who's been doing it. He's the man. He's the godfather. When it comes to the godfather of Dolphin rap, there's only one. It's Solo D. We got to give it. And Solo, I got to tell you, buddy, this is one of my favorite raps this season. Maybe in my top 5 all time. Fire away there, Sean Stanley.
Shit. Fans get every day. DWA style. Dolphins with attitude, in case you didn't know what that was. We've been here. Rep for them Phinz. From beginning to the end. Was on the road, we just hit the bye week. And now we about to come and get it in. Next up, Houston. And we ain't sleeping on them. But we back on a mission like, why do we gon' win? Again. First we started 3-0, then we went 0-3, then we won 4 games in a row. Now them boys feeling rejuvenated, and we trying to win 4 more. Steady moving up in the game like we on an escalator, pushing buttons like an elevator. Coach Matt drip, came and dripped a little swag on them boys. Now the whole squad play with hella flavor, feeling ever greater. Fans been waiting for a minute, now every week feel like Thanksgiving. Yeah, we been eating every week, been competing every week, dunking on them haters' heads. Blake Griffin, taking it to Christmas, playoff berth for my wish list. 5 more teams in a way, I got a hit list. Bunch of playmakers get to make a lot of plays. We can play the opposition in this happy holidays. Like, yeah, rep for them Phinz. From beginning to the end. Was on the road, we just hit the bye week. And now we about to come and get it in. Next up, Houston. And we ain't sleeping on them. But we back on a mission like, why do we gon' win? Again. Rep for them Phinz. From beginning to the end. Was on the road, we just hit the bye week. And now we about to come and get it in. Next up, Houston. And we ain't sleeping on them. But we back on a mission like, why do we gon' win? Again. Who that? So low, so low, so low. So low, so low, so low.
Rep from them Phinz. I love it. I love it. That was absolutely fantastic. I gotta say, Solo D, absolute fire on the latest rap. All right, let's go to another man that knows how to rap. That is Alan Poupart. Yeah, baby, and our EJD Construction.com pregame report.
Dolphins fans, time to get insight on your favorite team with your favorite reporter with an Expos hat. Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart in our EJD Construction.com Miami Dolphins report, exclusively on a Big O radio show.
So let me ask you, do you ever watch every week Roger Morant or Solo D and the raps they come up with every week?
Who? Sorry, there's your answer. No, sorry.
That's it. Okay. All right. Sean, can you pull up Roger Morant a second so he can check it out? Because every week, Solo D, apparently you don't know, but Solo D has been doing this for years now. Every week he comes up with a new rap. Okay. And Roger has been new on the scene now, and he's been coming up with a new rap every week, right? And so give Poupart here a little taste of we play it every week because it's fun. It's just fun stuff. Go ahead. Let's hear Roger.
I've seen him before.
Oh, you've seen him before. Okay.
I've seen him before.
What's up, Phinz fans?
Okay, so
Miami's back home.
Give me Solo D now. Give me Solo D. Let me see if he's seen at least a Solo D one. So you've seen Roger. Roger does an excellent job. And then Solo he's like the godfather of Dolphins rap. Okay. I bet you didn't know that there was a godfather of Dolphins rap. Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay. So this is royalty. When we talk about Solo D, we're talking about royalty here in the Dolphin Nation. So, and then Roger does, a fun rap, whereas Solo D does modern rap. You know what I'm saying? Here we go.
Rep for them Phinz. From beginning to the end. Was on the road, we just hit the bye week. And now we about to come and get it in. Next up, Houston. And we ain't sleeping on them. But we back on a mission like, why do we gon' win? Again. First we started 3-0, then we went 0-3, then we won 4 games in a row. Now them boys feeling rejuvenated, and we trying to win 4 more. Steady moving up in the game like we on an escalator, pushing buttons like an elevator. Coach Matt drip, came and dripped a little swag on them boys. Now the whole squad play with hella flavor, feeling ever greater. Fans been waiting for a minute, now every week feel like Thanksgiving. Yeah, we been eating every week, been competing every week, dunking on them haters' heads. Blake Griffin, taking it to Christmas, playoff berth for my wish list. 5 more teams in a way, I got a hit list. Bunch of playmakers get to make a lot of plays. We can play the opposition in this happy holidays. Like, yeah, rep for them Phinz. From beginning to the end. Was on the road, we just hit the bye week. Now we come and get it in.
That's strong.
Good. Hell yeah, dude.
wrong?
Fucking Solo D's awesome, dude. Let me just explicitly say that, okay?
No, that's strong. And I'm not a rap person, but that was very good.
Oh, he's super creative, and he comes up with the videos too on top
Yeah,
of all
very,
of that.
very cool.
Just nut. And he took it easy on the video today. Like sometimes they do way more production into the video and all that, but that was actually
probably because it's Houston. They're like, probably because it's Houston. They're like, no, it's not waste of good stuff. I'll wait till Frisco.
I think he changes it up too, so that's why he kind of gave us that white background today instead. But he does it every week. And I personally think they should have those two guys in the stadium just to have some fun and have those raps in there. I think fans would love that stuff. I mean, that rap right there, dude, that's pro, man. That's pro.
If you told me he was like a recording Solo D, if you told me he was a recording artist, I'd believe you. That was very good.
Damn right. Yeah. He's that talented, man. All right, so let's get to it. This week, I got the feeling the way he talked about Gaskin, because you nailed it last time several weeks ago when there was some injury, and you said you thought Ahmed would be the guy, and he was the second guy. I almost get the feeling that it might be a little bit of a carousel between those two guys behind Smith today. Do you get the feeling? Because the way he talked up Gaskin this week, it was something, and he talked about both guys getting opportunities.
No, you mean behind Wilson. Yeah, and Gaskin's one of those guys to me, and I had mentioned Isaiah Ford as being the same type of player where there's nothing special about him athletically, no offense, but they're like really good guys. They'll work hard. They know their place, and they'll be in the league longer than maybe their athletically tells you that they should be.
Right.
And that's the thing. And so, but to answer your question, my guess is Wilson's going to get the bulk of the work. And then when they give him a blow, I think that at first you're going to see Ahmed, then maybe you'll see Gaskin, and you'll see if there's a clear difference between one of the two, then he'll ride that one player. And then it's not just how well they do carrying the ball, is if they're asked to pass protect, who does a better job at picking up the blitzers. I don't think either one of them necessarily great at it. But I think it's going to come down to if you're going to get a chance giving Wilson a blow in this particular game, if you're Gaskin or Ahmed, make the most of it, because that's going to earn you more work.
I'm with you there. All right. When we look at this team, so McDaniel is out of the box guy, right? And you try to think what he's going to do, and he's going to do something completely different. Okay, but I'm not going to think out of the box in this one. Most of us aren't. Okay, they suck against the run. Well, you just started getting your run going now. This is another great game to continue to do the run. Is that what's going to happen, or is he going to think out of the box and just do something completely different? And why even throw the ball a whole ton when you don't really have to?
Because that's what Houston doesn't expect you to do. Maybe you focus on chipping Jerry Hughes every single pass play and just let her rip. It's establishing the run is great and all that, but the Dolphins have made their money this year throwing the ball. So I'm not going to be upset if they come out and they throw 35 passes and run only 15 times, and then they win, 38-14 or something like that. And people will be like, well, they missed a chance to establish the run. I mean, okay, you know what?
No.
Let's let the offense succeed. Correct. If the offense succeed, and however it succeeds, it succeeds. Logic says they should be able to run the ball, but they don't have Mostert, who's a speed guy, in the backfield. So is it as automatic as they were good against the run against Cleveland? Houston sucks against the run, so automatically it's a big game for the running game. No, it doesn't work like that. Logic says they should have some success running the ball, but I don't know that it's just necessarily, okay, we'll call a run play and it'll be 5 yards automatically.
So let me ask you something. They have been outscored 131-73 in the last 5 games. Their offensive output is 20, 10, 17, 16, and 10 in the last 5 games. Doesn't that remind you of the offense you've covered for the last 20 years?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
No, but seriously, that's why when you don't have a franchise quarterback, and you've got to be just a gritty team, and you hope, if this goes our way, and if that goes our way, maybe we can win today, that kind of stuff. This is the life they lived for 20 years with almost every guy they had under center after Marino.
that their defense had to be perfect because their offense was going to be imperfect.
It's never been to this level, though. You went into the season. Did anybody expect Houston to be anything but a sucky team in 2022? Okay, and that wasn't necessarily.
I understand. No, I'm with you. I'm just
But
comparing.
the point I'm making is Houston right now is a whole new level of bad beyond what the Dolphins have been in past years. And the other issue here is they made a change at quarterback. How much of a difference they're going to make? Who the hell knows? But Kyle Allen was playing really, really well the last time he was a starter, which was in 2020 before he dislocated his ankle. And if I'm a Dolphin fan, I would feel, let's say the level of confidence had Davis Mills been the starter today probably would be 99.7%. With Kyle Allen, let's say drops to 97.3%. So
Kyle Allen has 21 games in his history. He has 24 touchdowns. He has 21 games in his history. He has 17 interceptions.
Look at his stats from the last time he played. He was a starter. He started 4 games with Washington in 2020, and he was very good. Okay, that's all I'm saying. And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying he's going to make a huge difference. I'm saying that to me, Houston with Davis Mills in this game had basically zero chance. In this one, they have a microscopic chance. If that makes any sense.
And in today's game, are you expecting any changes on the offensive line with Austin Jackson? And I know that, the offensive line coach told you he's excited for him and all that, and that he was improving and all that. And, you shouldn't lose your job to injury, but my God, Robert Jones is playing pretty damn well.
Yeah. I'm going to say I wouldn't make a change. I'm going to say it's 50-50, if not a little higher than 50-50, that Austin Jackson winds up starting. Gut feeling.
Wow. That's high, dude. 50-50?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And like I said, I wouldn't do it, but I'm not the coach. They don't pay me to coach.
And that would be, and obviously left guard is what you're talking about, or right tackle. You're talking about Brandon Shell?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's a shame because that kid has actually done a really good job overall. I mean,
he's been solid. There have been some plays where I've seen him get beat pretty quickly off the line, but overall, the whole line was great against Cleveland. To where that's to me is where, why are you messing with it? And this is a team that's got like some major mojo going right now, and it's like, pardon my French, but don't fuck with the mojo. I mean, it's just
no. That to me, that's where I would disagree with putting Austin Jackson in there. The thing that I talked about throughout the week was I can see a 6-man line to short yardage situations, goal line. Let's put some extra beef in there, and then short yardage, power it in with the fullback and Wilson as your running back, and you'll get all your short yardage stuff. That kind of stuff I think you can do with Austin, adding another lineman there, on short yardage situation. That's what I kind of imagine, bringing him in and putting him right next to Shell on those kind of situations. That to me is what I thought of, and I don't know, is that in the history of San Francisco? Do you know that? Does anybody know that? I don't know if he does that.
I believe I saw that last year, actually, a couple of times. Without question, I saw that last time with six O-linemen.
With San Fran?
With San Fran on a fairly regular basis, actually.
Okay, so then that was my imagination, because one of the things that I do like about Austin Jackson, and look, I got to give him credit. He was showing improvement in training camp and leading into the season. Let's give the guy some love. He was working his ass off. He felt the most confident I've ever seen him when he was, when he would talk to us. He felt really comfortable with himself before that injury. But one of the things that you do love is he has experience at left guard and right tackle. Mm-hmm. So he can be a really super sub for you right now in 2 key positions.
No, I don't disagree with you, but like I said, I kind of get. And the other thing too with Jackson, this is a better fit. This is a better scheme for him. It's a better scheme fit for him. And look, Dolphin coaches saw him work, behind the scenes a lot more than we did. We saw what we saw in training camp, and by all appearances, by our untrained eye, to me, he looked like a different guy than he did the last 2 years. And then once practices are closed, we don't get to see what's going on. The coaches do. So the way they're talking about him, it sounds to me like, and of course they're going to be complimentary of every player, but it sure sounds like they were really liking what they were seeing in him. And then if that's the case, and they felt he was a good fit for the scheme, then that's part of why I can see them just going, okay, you ready to go? Go. Where conceivably he could have gone against Cleveland. Remember, he was active, and they decided, okay, not quite yet. We'll give you, because now you're going to get 2 more weeks because of the Cleveland game and then the bye, and then full speed ahead with that.
I don't know if when you were on earlier, we talked a little bit about this. Are you concerned at all about this being one of those trap games or any of that? Because I'm from the school of the 3-game losing streak was their wake-up call. It was like, okay, here's life without our quarterback, and we struggled and we lost 3 games. All right, we had our setback. All right, let's make sure we appreciate this and let's take advantage. I almost feel like that they're not going to let up in this game. I kind of feel like they're going to come in kind of hungry for this game. What do you think?
That's the only thing that worries me about this game is, I mean, these guys are human. They know Houston sucks. They also know they play at San Francisco next week to start perhaps a season-defining 3-game road trip.
Amen.
So the idea that they could look past this really bad Houston team to me is completely legit. In fact, I asked Mike McDaniel this week how hard he had to drive the message to his players not to look past this team, and he completely blew it off, as I would suspect he would, because he doesn't even want that thought to be out there. But these guys are human. This is why it wouldn't surprise me, especially that plus coming off the bye. It wouldn't surprise me in the least if the Dolphins are lethargic, maybe first quarter and a half, and then all of a sudden, the talent difference takes over and the Dolphins kind of pull away at the end. But yes, to me, it's completely legit that they could be overlooking this Houston team.
By the way, you just reminded me of something, or not reminded me, just made me think of something when you were saying this. Think about the sway of emotions for the player. The coach won't ever say it internally, it's going to go on. But this week, you're playing the worst team in the league. Mm-hmm. And then next week, you're playing the game that your coach needs the most, just for all kinds of purposes, because he's playing his mentor and all that other stuff, and former team. And then we have several former Niners on this team, all that kind of stuff. Like, holy shit, what a level of emotions going from this week to next week. It's not so much about the road game and the defining games, which you are 1,000% right, but that one San Francisco game, every player in that locker room, if they love McDaniel like it looks like they do, oh my God, they are going to want to play at an incredibly high level next week. So
absolutely, no question. It's like the timing of the Houston game. If there's such a thing about playing a really, really bad team at a bad time, this might be the most dangerous spot they could have stuck that Houston game in for the Dolphins schedule.
That's an interesting, change for this team emotionally overall. They're favored by 14. Would you lay the points? I liked it at 12 earlier in the week. When it up to 14, I was like, damn, I think they'll win by more than that. Probably they got a good chance, but God, I wouldn't want to lay 14 points ever in an NFL game, dude. God.
No, I wouldn't either. And then when I did my preview yesterday, and where I do a score prediction all the time, I made it 28-13. Again, allowing for the slow start idea that I have. To me, it's really tough though. While I don't like laying 14 points, that's too many for my taste. The idea of taking points, if you really don't believe the team has a chance to win, that's also a tough proposition. So that's one of those games where if I'm advising somebody purely for entertainment purposes, I just stay away from that game.
Two things on this question. One, did you see Dameon Pierce be this good at this level coming out of Florida in the 4th round? And two, how much more impressive is it that he does it with no quarterback whatsoever that threatens that defense, when everybody knows that Dameon Pierce is the only thing that can threaten you, and yet he's still getting 4.5 yards a carry?
No, and that dude, you knew the dude was physical. I don't know that you knew that he was going to be,
load.
this elusive along with being this physical, because the book on him was like, you want like a blocking back to pick up the blitzer. That's your guy right there. Right. And you knew he had some running ability, but no, I don't think up to this point. And like you mentioned, he's the guy that opposing defenses key on to stop, and he's still going to rush for over 1,000 yards on a really, really, really bad team. And there have been a couple of highlight runs already this year where he's dragging 3 or 4 guys on, really impressive.
Dude, he's been awesome, man. Like, okay, I thought he was a solid back coming out of, but I never saw this player coming out of the NFL draft like that. And I know you're a draft Nick, so that's why I asked.
Pick tells you again, you don't have to spend a first-round pick to get a stud running back,
Yeah. Amen to that. All right. What are you going to be working on in-game so folks can go to alldolphins.com and also at Poupart NFL on Twitter?
Well, I broke down the inactives a little while ago, and then as I do every game, I will break down with analysis all the key plays from the entire first half, which I post immediately at halftime as it hits. Then after the game, we'll have the game story. We will revisit the big plays for the whole game, and then also come up with the 5 biggest plays of the game. And then if there are other developments that warrant separate stories, we'll be on those as well.
Will you be jamming Solo D and Roger in the background?
I can't say I'll make that promise, but I will say I was very impressed with Solo D.
Damn right, bro. Solo D is always impressive.
That was good stuff.
And so are you. Follow him on Twitter at Poupart NFL. And of course, remember the law. You're not really a Dolphins fan until you bookmark alldolphins.com. That is the law. Just telling you. That's the way it goes. Alan, enjoy the game, my brother. We'll catch up tomorrow.
Sounds good. Have a good one.
Sir, there you go. Alan Poupart, baby, and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame report.
You've been listening to the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report with Sports Illustrated's Alan Poupart. For additions, home remodeling, and custom work, call Eric at 305-433-4843. EJDconstruction.com is your custom home builder and general contractor you can trust. 305-433-4843.
All right. Man, I feel good. I feel really good. It's just like, it's every week now. Like, I can't wait for the game. Like, I always enjoy and watching Dolphin football, and I can't, even in our worst of times, I love watching Dolphins football. You listen, those of you that follow me, I watch the preseason games all the way to the end of the fourth quarter, the third game or the fourth game back in the day. It didn't matter. I watch everything. Training camp, mini camps. I follow anything and everything Dolphins, as you all know. East-West Shrine, Senior Bowl, Combine. I'm all about the Dolphins. But there's that extra sauce. It's on top of all of this. I got goosebumps. I swear to you, I got goosebumps because it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that your team is really good and they have a chance to actually do something. You know what I mean? Instead of, if we hold them to this and if we can make a play here and if we can control specialty, maybe we can eke out a victory. And oh, my God, because, we can't score more than 15 or 18 or 20 points. And, the defense has got to be incredible today, this, that. And we drive ourselves crazy with this stuff. Just absolutely nuts. Now we've got the kind of team that can just go out there and get it done, man. And they can dictate the tempo like Marino used to do to some teams, that he could dictate the tempo. Unfortunately, he had a defense that would give up sometimes more points than he could put up, but it wasn't his fault. I can't blame Marino for that. But this team is better, man. We got a better shot. By the way, we're up to 225 likes. Come on, man. We're over 600 right now watching. Get us to 600 at least. We probably could get to 700 because we probably lost 100 and some people or 200 people already in the rotation easily. So the 600 people are, come on, man, do it for the Phinz, please. Plus, this gets the show out to more Phinz fans. The more times you hit the like button on all of our segments that are out there or the shows or the hours or anything, it gets it out to more people. So when they're searching for Miami Dolphins, they will find our show. So, we can grow and get more things added to this show for you all. Did you see Wasp in Orlando last night? No, sir. I watched the sorry-ass Miami Hurricanes last night. I was at Walk-Ons doing the pre- and post-game show. I really like Shaw at right tackle. He was pancaking some good players. Yeah. I'm going to be interested to see what happens if Austin Jackson is really the starter. Austin Jackson, by the way, has lined up with the starters at right tackle in pregame warmups. So there you go. Poupart nailed it. He said 50-50, and he was right. That's interesting. By the way, we're going to see how Austin now handles that too, because now Brandon Shaw was doing a good job. I like what Austin was doing, okay? As I said before, I want to commend him because he had improved. But now that you're going to take over, you need to maintain that level of play. So he needs to have a pretty clean game today overall. The good thing is now Brandon Shaw can play right tackle, and you have depth there. So that's also really important. He's way better than Greg Little. So it looks like we're going to see Austin Jackson starting for the Miami Dolphins at right tackle. That's a very interesting move when you think of the fact that the other guys played so well. Why ruin the groove right now? That's kind of tough. Coco Gauff is in the house. How about that? Waddle and Coco Gauff hanging out there taking a picture. That's pretty cool. Let me send it to my man Sean so we can put that up with Coco Gauff. That's pretty cool. She's in the house. Let's see. McDaniel, by the way, said about Austin Jackson, he's in a place where he can make plays as an offensive lineman. We are afforded options with his versatility, but as long as there's no setbacks, I think you're going to see some of his best play here soon. Let me add something to the Austin Jackson move now to right tackle that I don't want you to overlook on this. Athleticism is actually very important in this line, in this scheme. And Austin Jackson may be one of your most athletic linemen on the team. He's more athletic than Brandon Shell. So I think they feel they have more versatility with him, like he mentioned, because he's going to be quicker to get to the second level. He's going to be trusted to get to the second level. He might be more trusted to go out and pull instead. And that's the thing, that you might see different things from the line, different guys pull from the right tackle, from the left tackle. Usually they don't really do it with Armstead, but he used to do it with the other big guy. And what's the name of that big ass dude in San Francisco that he's a monster that came over from Washington? Damn it, now I'm brain farting, but they do it with him. Okay. And he gets out on the open field and oh my God, he's trucking people over. He's like a Peterbilt truck coming your way, And so these are things that I think change the dynamics of it with Austin at that position. Brandon's done a really good job overall, but he doesn't bring the athleticism that Austin Jackson does, which then gives the coach more versatility on what he wants to call. Trent Williams, thank you. Thank you, Muzi. Thank you, Phinz in the house. I appreciate you. So I think that's what they're thinking, that what they love about Austin Jackson is his athleticism besides his ability. And not every lineman brings that. But in this scheme, they need you to have athleticism in most spots. And that's why I think he's there. Okay? And that's why I think and folks, it's almost unfair for a man to lose his job because of injury. And Brandon Shaw done a really good job. Now, if he's playing at a Pro Bowl level and all of a sudden you found your right tackle of the future, even though he's 30 or something, then I can understand that we can't bring Austin Jackson back. This guy is grading out like the best lineman on the team and all that. That wasn't the case. He was playing well, but not to that level. So I think that that's why you're doing this. You know? Terrible decision to leave Shell out the line. We're playing so well. Why change it? Vanguards of manhood. Let me ask you something. Are we talking about idiots? Are we talking about Flo and the boneheads that he had? No. We're talking about people that actually know offensive line play and all that kind of stuff. There's Waddle with Coco Gauff, man. She's at the stadium. Nice job. Like it. There you go. Everybody wants to Waddle, dude. Waddle is such a likable guy. You know what I'm saying? That is fantastic. Classy kid, man. What a draft pick. Thank you, Laramie Bong Mask Tunsil. Holy moly. What else do we have here? I don't think there's any other big storylines outside of now Austin Jackson going to start at right tackle. Oh, my God. Stephen Ross is on the field. No, Stephen. Get away. Get away from the team. You're bad luck. What else do we have? Bears are starting Nathan Peterman. Trevor Siemian hurt his oblique in warmups. Oh, God. My man got injured in warmups? That's bad. That is bad. Moosey, thank you for the love on the super chat. He says, need to pitch in and get you that Darth Cater poster. No, I got the Darth Cater poster. I already got it. I already got it, Moosey. You don't need to pitch it. You did already with the super chat, and thank you. But they took care of me, okay, overall. So I just and if you haven't seen, let me do this for you guys, just in case, because I'm not exactly sure. The Backroom Collection, it's called the Backroom COL2 is the site. Let me send Sean the Darth Cater poster. Let me show you guys, because you can buy this Darth Cater poster from them, okay, like I did. So check this out. I'm gonna show it to you. Backroom Collection on Twitter. On the address is the Backroom COL for collection 2. Okay, the Backroom COL 2, and we're gonna show you the Darth Cater poster that I'm getting, and you all should get it. I mean, you should actually reach out to the the Backroom Collection and get Darth Cater. It's a freaking cool poster. I had to get it. I mean, how am I not going to get it? By the way, Darth Cater started following me on Twitter, and thank you, Darth Cater. Yes, Cater Kohu following us on Twitter, and I guess you know what I think. I think somebody sent him the video that I put out when he was doing the saber thing, and I showed everybody that he was doing saber. Some of you idiots thought he was doing like a seat belt, I think it was. It's like, what the hell would he do? Why would anybody do a seatbelt thing? What was that? Would you? Oh, you locked him down on the seatbelt? Is that what it is? You locked him down, you kept him safe? No, dude, you put your saber away because you eliminated his ass. Seatbelt. And I think Cater got a whiff of that whole thing, and that's why he followed me, because that thing went viral and people were retweeting it and all that kind of stuff. It's there on my timeline somewhere now, because I think that was like 2 weeks ago or something. So you'll have to scroll down a little bit to do that. But look for it today in the game. When Cater makes a play, he'll put away his saber. It's awesome. It's one of the best celebrations out there. Do we have the poster yet, Sean? Because that I want to show them the poster of Darth Cater, and see if we can pull that thing up, because there it is.
How'd you send it?
Did I send it email? You didn't get it? You didn't get it, bro? I'm sorry. I thought I sent it email. My bad. Let's see.
I just got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay. All right. There you go. I just resent it anyway again. But I want to show you all the Darth Cater poster. And again, the Backroom COL2 on Twitter, and then you can check it out there. And I'm sure they have you go to their website, which is backroomcollection.net, basically. That's where you're going to hear it. And then you can see all the different kinds of posters that they have. They have Tua posters and stuff. He does a really good job with designing those posters. Okay. So check it out. You can get poster or canvas, different sizes. It's a beautiful thing, man. They do a really nice job overall. So excellent job by him. Let's see what we got. Feels so good that our team is fun, electric. Some of us have been suffering with them for a long time. Well, we've all been suffering for a long time. There's the Darth Cater poster. Is that badass or what? Are you kidding me? How do you not want that in your sports room, your bar, your office? How in the hell do you not want a Cater Kohu Darth Cater poster? And, me being the Star Wars geek that I am, that's the crossover that I can't avoid. I have to get that. I had to get that poster. I didn't get canvas. I got poster, by the way. But I would imagine the canvas might look pretty cool too. Okay. Let's see. Buddy Ryan's farts were probably the worst. Why are you guys talking about farts? Fart all you can. Okay, I'm not exactly sure. There are a few fans reporting that the field at Hard Rock is looking a little rough after the Canes game last night. Well, I mean, you know how many those kids were crying last night? They must have, the field must be all soaking wet and stuff, and it must be all out of shape. What a shame, So I can see that. I can see where the field might be a little rough. They played last night. It's like my voice, rough, because we're on last night. I want to say something because I think it's actually, really cool to see how the O-line has settled in. And it'll be interesting now with Austin Jackson manning the right tackle spot. But Robert Hunt has turned himself into a player. Connor Williams has settled in as, what is he, like 4th or 5th ranked center in the NFL. Robert Jones is also doing very well, grading out very well. Teron Armstead obviously has done an excellent job. This has been a problem for 20 plus years. The inconsistencies on the offensive line. There were moments with the unicorns, as Omar used to call them, and the 3 guys, whenever they were healthy, you were a pretty good line because they were 3 pretty good linemen, obviously. And so it was something that helped them out along the way that year, but it's not something that has been year in and year out. And they've really needed that offensive line expert. And with Frank Smith, with Applebaum, and with Mike McDaniel, you have 3 people that have a understanding of offensive linemen that they've never had that here. They've never had a conglomerate of guys. It's usually one guy. You know what I'm saying? This is 3 different men that are contributing to all of this, and in different ways. Because while Frank Smith might be thinking, of the technical part for the offensive lineman, just like Matt Applebaum is, right? Well, Mike McDaniel is thinking about it in the offensive mind's place of what he needs his linemen to do so they can coach it up. So it's different points of views. So you have a coach that understands all levels of the offense. And so he has a way of communicating to his coaches what he needs his linemen to do in order to make these plays work. And then you have the technicality of Applebaum and Frank Smith working on these linemen. And I think that has really helped out. And apparently they also do it in a way where it's very teachable. And they don't complicate things for guys. And I think that that's also very important because when they line up, you want them to know their assignment. You want them to have conviction on what they need to do. If there's any questions or any doubts or any concerns about what you need to do or where you need to go because you're confused, because there's so many options for you, then that becomes a problem because all of a sudden now you're thinking too much. That slows everything down. And they do a great job of kind of breaking it down and keeping it simple for them so they can be effective. And that's what's really changed with the offensive line, man. I've been so impressed with the improvement of that offensive line. And now we'll see what happens with Austin Jackson at right tackle. Awesome. Remember, folks, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That's Cash Big O Show. Tommy, you're asking me for a score prediction. I'm going to go Dolphins 34, Texans 12. I think they're going to kick their ass. Not that I would lay the 14 because that's just too much, but I think they're going to kick their ass. A fan mentioned that Tua slipped in one of his warm-up sessions on the field. I don't know, whatever. Not worried about it until you show me that he's injured. Ken says, you are legend, Big O. Manning the Canes pre- and post-game show till 1 a.m. and now doing the same for the Phinz today. We try, my brother. We try. Not easy. Not easy. I'm hurting, man. I know today's Dolphins game day, but ASU just hired Oregon's offensive coordinator and head coach as head coach. They didn't want Broyles Award winner. We'll give them Gaddis if they want, bro. Are we keeping Mostert out for precaution or overall? I think it's a little bit of both. I think if it was a playoff game, maybe he would suck it up, but why force it against the Texans? You don't need to. Plus, Wilson's playing so well. So no, it's not needed. All right. Rusty says, praying for a nice, relaxing day of watching the Dolphins, cruising to a victory. No drama, please. Let's see. What else do we have? I don't know if we have anything else coming in from the stadium. Let me make sure what we got here for you all to make sure there's nothing new and nothing breaking Dolphins wise. Nope. That's it. Just Austin Jackson starting at right tackle. Nothing else. Nothing else is really that big. Raheem Mostert's out. And Teddy Bridgewater is out. So it looks like Skyler is your backup. I like that. Oh, I forgot to tell you about that. Damn it. I knew I forgot to say something. This is the kind of game. And I before I even found this out, I wanted to talk about this. I have a note here on that, and I didn't get to it. This is the kind of game that you can get Skylar Thompson some more playing time. If somehow you can focus, play the game the right way, dominate it, by the end of the third quarter, you can have Skylar in there playing the fourth quarter. If you've got a comfortable lead, maybe playing the last 8, 10, 12 minutes of the game, maybe not the whole quarter or something like that. But that is one thing that I forgot to mention. I have a note here on that I was hoping that you would have Skylar active instead of Teddy. Now, Teddy obviously must have something, but because playing Teddy filling in, at the back end of a game does nothing for you because there's no future with Teddy. But with Skylar, there's a future. And every moment that you get to play Skylar and give him more playing time, 1, you get him better. 2, you showcase him to the NFL. And 3, prepares you to have your backup quarterback better in every situation possible. So that's the other thing that I want to look forward to today. If somehow or another you can take care of business, no drama, they blow them out. Fourth quarter, we see Skylar Thompson get some important playing time for himself. So important that the people in Houston are going to go, shit, they got that guy in the 7th round. He's better than everybody we have. So that's the thing. This is the idea of doing the Matt Hasselbeck thing, that you now showcase him every offseason in the preseason, And eventually somebody says, hey, we'll give you. And then Chris Greer says, yeah, second rounder. Come on. That kind of stuff. Again, what GM in the history of the Miami Dolphins drafts your starter and drafts your backup 2 years later? Just think about that. Think about that front office. That's a badass front office. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you guys the second the game is over. We're on. When the clock ticks 0, that the show kicks off. We'll get the reactions. We got Joe Shad and Marcel Louis-Jacques with reactions post-game straight from the locker room. We'll get any of the info from Mike McDaniel or Tua also out to you. We'll keep you in touch with everything as always and give you the best coverage of the Miami Dolphins like we do every single day. No platform on the planet does a better job of covering the Miami Dolphins than we do. Way better than any radio station and any other platform on the planet. You all be good out there. Go Dolphins. We'll see you on the post-game show right here on the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network.
This has been the EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins pregame show on the Sports Talk 305 network. The show is mastered by Sean Stanley and Chad Show. From home to kitchen to bathroom additions and remodelings, get in contact with one of the best contractors in the business. Call Eric at EJDconstruction.com, 305-433-4843. Please subscribe to our platform by searching Big O Radio Show on all digital avenues. We'll be back with a complete wrap-up of the game once the last second ticks off the clock. Thank you for your support and enjoy Dolphins football.